Hi everyone, welcome to my course, Hands-on Web Development with React and GatsbyJS. Before we get started, a little bit about me. My name is Rochelle Rathbone and I am a software engineer. I'm a huge fan of React and Gatsby and I'm very excited to present this course to you. I'm an Xbox supporter, sorry PC and PlayStation fans, and my all-time favorite game is Skyrim. I usually have my head buried in at least one book, if not several, at any given point in time. Feel free to learn more about me via my site, rochellerathbone.com. The app we're going to build together is what I used as the base for my site, and don't worry, there isn't any pink anywhere in what we'll be working on together. Also, feel free to connect with me on Twitter. My handle is codinglove. It's a name that came about because Twitter doesn't accept 16 characters, so my full name didn't work out. This course is aimed at anyone who already has some React experience under their belt and is wanting to learn how to integrate Gatsby into a React app. We'll start out with a basic app and work together to build it out to a fully functioning and deployed blog that you can use for your very own purposes should you choose to do so. There are 7 sections included, so let's go over each one briefly so you know what to expect. Section 1 is all about getting started with GatsbyJS. We'll talk a little about what Gatsby is and what it can do for you and your application, before moving on to installing Gatsby on your machine and getting the initial app set up. Doing an overview of styling of your application, adding metadata to help improve page rankings when your app is in production, and we'll talk a little bit about SEO, and we'll also go over how to link between pages in Gatsby. In section 2, I'll teach you how to query data with GraphQL. If you've never used it before or are unfamiliar with what it is, you're in for a treat. In addition to covering this cool alternative to REST, we'll learn how to access that data by writing a page query, and we'll use a built-in Gatsby API and a hook to access data from our components. In section 3, we'll do a deep dive on Gatsby Plugins. I'll introduce some plugins in the first 2 sections, but we'll really dig in during this section and go over 2 of the key types of Gatsby plugins: source plugins and transformer plugins. We'll also take a look at the plugin library, and we'll set your app up for analytics and event tracking so you can easily monitor and track user interaction and engagement on your site. And we'll also add a plugin that will make your post stand out when people share a link to one of your pages on Twitter. Section 4 is hands down my favorite section of this course, as it's where we really get the chance to get down into the nitty-gritty of what makes Gatsby so great. We'll add our first markdown files to our app, we'll build a template, and then we'll integrate 2 Gatsby APIs that will allow us to read content from markdown files to generate pages on our site. In section 5, we'll shift our focus to working with images in Gatsby, and we'll go over a few options that are available to us. We'll discuss the performance benefits that Gatsby offers in this area, and we'll cover just how easy it is to add images and videos to markdown files with Gatsby. Section 6 is where we'll learn about CMSs and work with Contentful, a CMS that is steadily growing in popularity and works extremely well with Gatsby. We'll set up a Contentful account and create a content model, connect it to our app, and then update our code to pull our posts in from our CMS instead of our markdown files that will be created in section 4. You'll have the power to decide whether markdown files or Contentful, the CMS, is the right tool for you moving forward at the end of the course. In section 7, we'll work on wrapping up a few loose ends and get your app out into production. From that point on, it's yours to do with as you see fit. Never touch it again. Keep using it exactly as it is and simply keep adding posts, or use it as a springboard to create something entirely new. There aren't too many prerequisites for this course, but in order to be successful, you should have a basic understanding of React. I won't be going over anything React specific in this course because we'll be focusing on Gatsby and GraphQL, so if you've never used React before, I recommend taking some time to get familiar with its core features and moving parts before beginning this course. You should have Node version 8 or higher installed. Gatsby supports any version of Node with a status of maintenance, active, or current. Node version 6 reached its end-of-life status in April 2019, so if you have this version or anything lower installed, Gatsby won't run on your machine. If you don't have Node installed, you'll need to go to this link and follow the download instructions, or alternatively, if you have Homebrew installed, you can simply run the command brew install node. If Node is installed on your machine, check the version by running either node-v or node-version from your terminal. If you're on version 6 or earlier, you'll need to work on upgrading that before you can begin the course. How you go about that update may depend on how you originally installed Node. By the time you've reached the end of this course, you'll have a strong understanding of how to programmatically create pages with Gatsby, and should you choose to use the app after the course is over, you'll have all the knowledge you need to decide whether working with Markdown files or a CMS better suits your needs. You'll be able to write queries to query data with GraphQL. You'll have an understanding of how integrating Gatsby into a React app can be a really powerful tool. You'll be familiar with the Gatsby plugin library along with the types of plugins that are available to you. And if you haven't used the terminal before, you have little experience, this course will give you the opportunity to become a little more comfortable and pick up some new commands. And probably the most significant thing is that you'll walk away at the end of this course with a production site that you are free to use as you see fit moving forward. The coolest part is that the application we're building is a progressive web app, which means that it will give you access to features that are normally only available to native mobile apps. We'll talk more about progressive web apps in the first video of section 1. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get started.